Hey everybody, I'm finally back with another video. I gave in and did another eBay box full of what seemed to probably be junk wax stuff. I'm kind of a sucker for a lot of cards for a little bit of money. So this was an interesting one. There were a lot more cards in this box than you see here. This is some of the stuff I haven't put away yet. Um, First, it was advertised as 3,000 cards, and there was one picture, and it had some 90s looking cards that I didn't recognize because I didn't collect much in the 90s of Barry Bonds and a few other guys. And it looked like worthless cards, but cards I didn't have, so they looked cool. I kind of spotted a 85 Ozzie Smith in that, but you could see like 10 or 15 cards. And I messaged the seller and just asked, hey, can I see a few more pictures? And they said they didn't have time to send more pictures. Just bid or don't bid, pretty much. So it was 99 cents opening bid. There were no bids yet. And I think based on the description in the picture, probably I would have gotten it for 99 cents. But it was buy it now for $8. So after a couple days, I just finally gave in. Did buy it now for $8. Shipping was probably more expensive than it should have been, but it was stated what it was going to be, so it was all good. Maybe it was fair. I have no idea. But anyways, grand total cost me $25 and something cents. And I was like, this is going to be a mystery. Probably nothing too great, but maybe some junk wax cards I don't have, which I'll be happy to add to my collection. So when I messaged the guy, he was like, well, I don't know if I can fit 3,000 cards in there. It's probably going to be 2,500 cards. And I guess that's probably pretty close. I'm not sure if it was even that much. But here's my deal. If I'm going to spend $25, I guess to me it's worth it in the long run if maybe there's enough cards that I might buy out of a quarter box at a show to cover that. So in this case, like 100 cards that I think are quarter box worthy, and then maybe it was worth it. So I what I consider a quarter box card is probably pretty lenient. There were some 85 Tony La Russa manager cards. He's a Hall of Famer, so I put him in the stack. I separate my cards, the commons from, I keep the Hall of Famers and the sort of stars and near Hall of Famers, your Steve Garvey, Dave Parker, Tommy John, guys like that, separate from the commons. So I made a stack and separated out those guys, Hall of Famers and maybe stars, I guess you want to call them. And I came up with 460 cards that fit that. So that's pretty good to me. I mean, a lot of them I already have. A lot of them that were duplicates. I got so many of the same Ozzie Smiths and Paul Mollitors and stuff. But that was pretty good. And I haven't analyzed it all and processed them yet, but looking through them, I wrote down the number, and it's on my phone here, so I can't look at it right now. I forgot the number, but just flipping through them, I think of those cards, maybe 100 and something of them, over 100 of them were ones that didn't look familiar, like I probably don't have them. So I figured, all these cards are quarter cards, dollar cards at best, but it ended up being worth it to me. Plus, all this stuff you're seeing here, there was cards, some of them I already put away in my other boxes. The earliest cards were 82. There was like one 1982 tops. There was a bunch of 85 tops. I think these ones are all 85 tops. These are somewhere in here, I think these are like 86 Donruss, and I have like almost no 86 Donruss in my life from when I was a kid. 85 tops. I'm going to be going through my old 85 stuff sometime to see if I have a complete set or how close I am. So a lot of these cards that are commons might help me when I figure out if I have a complete set or not of things. I've been doing that with all my old cards. Like I have I figured out I have a complete 87, 88, 79. I had to buy a couple cards for some of those, but I'm going through all that old stuff from when I was a kid. So there's a bunch of stuff. So anyways, I'm going to move on to the cards. Take this box away. So the cards that I considered, let's see here, Hall of Famers, near Hall of Famers, the ones that I separate from the commons anyways. There's a lot of duplicates. There was some, actually some 84 O-Pee-Chees. There's a lot of stuff. And, I'm a weirdo. I'm an old man, but if, some sets that I hardly have anything by, $85, $86, and I get a Hall of Famer, even if it's, not a superstar Hall of Famer, but a Lee Smith, $86. Wow, I don't have that. I never have seen that card. I find it cool and exciting. So, and then stuff like this, I don't even know what year that is. Anything that's shiny, I probably don't already have. This is 98. I mean, I collected nothing at that time. So there's a lot of stuff from that period. All these that I don't have. Bagwell. Got a bunch of star stickers. A lot of those were in here. So, a bunch of cards that aren't worth anything, but star players, Hall of Fame players. I have that one. I got to go through all these, figure out what I have, what I don't have. I'm starting to, when I get duplicates of ones I already have, instead of sticking them with my collection, I used to just put them with my collection. Now, it's Barry Bonds. This is O-Pee-Chee All-Stars. I'm making my own boxes of supposedly what I would sell at a show for like $0.25 to $1 or whatever. And I don't know if I will ever do that because I have never set up at a show, and I don't know if it'd be worth the money for a table to sell a bunch of quarter cards. But it's a good selection of stuff. Steve Carlton, Gary Carter. Again, this is what, like 91? There were a lot of 91 Bowmans, and 91 was my last year, like halfway collecting, and I think I mostly bought tops that year. So stuff like this I don't have. I don't have that. I had no Fleer stickers in my collection, so all these duplicates are going to go in my supposed quarter box, like I said, but like I probably don't have that, so I'm happy to add that to my collection. I definitely have that. I have a lot of 87 tops. Dwight Evans is another non-Hall of Famer that I put in my Hall of Fame section. I don't know if it's going to make sense to go through all of these, but Fisk. So, when I got this box, I'm just going to flip through these and you can look at them while I talk. I was like, wow, the picture is showing Bonds and Juan Gonzalez and some good guys. So are those going to be the only cards of those guys? Am I going to get 20 star cards and the rest worthless? That's what I was thinking as I was waiting for this to arrive. Lots of Juan Gonzalez here. So my final, some Griffies. My final estimation is these were definitely looked at and picked over. I mean, there were a lot of 85 tops, and there was no Kirby Puckett rookie or Roger Clemens rookie. There was 86 Donruss. There's no whoever belongs in there, Ken Seiko or whatever. Like, there were no big time rookie cards that I'm aware of that were left in there. There were some 83 tops. There was no Wade Boggs or Tony Gwynn, but plenty of superstar players, Hall of Famers, that were left in there that are the less valuable cards of them. So Trevor Hoffman, that's a guy who I have like 1 or 2 cards in my whole collection. I probably don't even own an Andrew Jones because that's just not in my time of collecting. So here's where you see the duplicates. So this was in the 460 good cards, Hall of Famers, but I don't know how many people are walking around looking for an 85 Tony La Russa even for $0.25. But Fred Lynn, another guy. I'm sure it's really inconsistent and subjective which guys I end up sticking in the commons. Like Joe Carter, but I keep Fred Lynn, other guys like that with the Hall of Fame players, just probably based on childhood memories. A bunch of Mattingly's, McGriff, McGuire. So if anybody needs some Paul Molators, guys that I remember, Fred Lynn, superstar in my mind as a little kid, and probably more recent guys who have similar stats or maybe even better stats don't have the same spot in my head. It's Dale Murphy, I'm just rambling. Dave Parker was also such a superstar when I was 8 years old. Piazza, that's great. I'm a Dodger fan. I don't have stuff like this. All these 88 Donruses, I'm sure I have tons of. So a lot of these, like I said, are going to go in my trading or selling box. Bunch of Ripkins. So that's probably enough to go through. There was some of these mini league leader or team leader cards. I have a few of these in my collection already, but I probably don't have most of these. So like I said, the guys that I separate out like this that are not Hall of Famers, or that are, Hershiser's not, obviously. Wally Joyner's not, obviously. This is the stack of a few guys that I keep in binders just because I had the binders like this that are sort of next level down that I don't keep in the boxes with the Hall of Famers, but they're still great players. Pedro Guerrero, some of it's probably biased by me being a Dodger and an Angel fan as a kid. Having Guerrero and Hershiser, I don't know, Greg Jeffries had a good career, I guess, but that's just, you know, those were already in binders. So like I said, of all these stars to semi-stars to Hall of Famers, they're about 460 cards. And then, like I said, those commons, they might help me out with building some sets, or might be some that I was missing from some sets. So yeah, I forgot to mention this. So I thought it was worth a shot and just kind of interesting because this seller, looking at their feedback, looking at their other things they were selling, very few, if any, other baseball cards. It was almost all Pokemon cards. So, yeah, I took a shot. Hey, maybe there's some amazing stuff in here and they don't even know. Or maybe it's just going to be, you know, a pile of junk. And to me, it wasn't a pile of junk, even though it's technically it's all mostly the junk wax stuff. There's a lot of cards that I get to add to my collection. So anyways, I got a big card coming soon that I got from a Whatnot sale that I think is arriving Saturday, and that'll be really opposite of this video when I do one with that, and maybe a few other vintage cards thrown in with that video. I'm excited about that one. So thanks for watching again, and that's it.